Dionisio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Swakowski, the big right-hander, lets it go. It's right down Broadway. Dionisio lets it fly, and it's raining now.
It's time for Rain Delay Theater with Jeremy Dionisio and Jack Swakowski.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rain Delay Theater, the show where two bums talk about other bums at baseball games. I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And I'm Jack Swakowski.
This is episode number 324, and we're recapping the June 30th baseball game between the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres from a very hot and steamy Wrigley Field. This was a lot of runs scored. It was not the 23-run game. That was the day after ours. So we thought we saw a slugfest, but it kind of paled in comparison to the next game. But there was still a total of 9 home runs in this game.
Yeah, it was crazy, Jeremy. We might as well just talk about that up top. First of all, like you said, it was hot. It was right in the middle of this horrible heat wave we had in Chicago the week before the 4th of July. So I didn't look what the game time temperature was, but it must have been 90 degrees.
Yeah, 92 degrees.
That's rough. So and it felt it too, even when the sun went down. We were just sitting and talking, and Jeremy, you said, the over/under on this game, like, what do you think it is, about 15 runs? And I said, yeah, I could, 14.5, and I said, yeah, I could see an 8-7 game. I'd take the over on that. And the final was actually higher than that. And yeah, like you said, 9 home runs we saw. That might be a Rain Delay Theater record for a game that we've been to. Although, ironically, the last Cubs game we went to, there were probably about 7 home runs in that game. So ball's been flying out lately, but this was a crazy one. 5 Cub homers, I think it was. So a monumental evening.
Yeah, totally. 2 homers by Swanson. He had a chance for a third one. Ended up getting a single in his last at bat. Yep. And then Tatis ended up with 2 also. Yeah, and then and not only were they were they plentiful, but like a lot of them were over 400 feet too. Just bombs.
Absolute no doubters. Tatis led off the game with a home run that seemed to go onto Waveland Avenue past the bleachers. So, and then Swanson also had a bomb. Ian Happ hit a bomb too. I think his might have gone. No, he didn't hit it. I don't know who the hell I'm. Bush. I think Michael Bush. Yeah, that's right. He hit a really long home run that almost went over the right field bleachers. So it was an interesting game to be at. It was also a kind of a strange game because the Cubs were blowing the Padres out at one point, and then in the 8th inning, the Padres scored 5 runs to make it interesting.
Yeah,
4 runs.
Yep. They let him get right back. Javier Assad was kind of doing okay in relief, and then just kind of got touched up in that 8th, and it looked a little hairy. We had already moved from our normal seat to the standby position for graphing, like in the right field corner, and it was looking a little hairy there. But the Cubs shut it down in the end. Just as
Jeremy,
a programming note. Oh yeah, sorry. Just as a programming note, Jack. It's the day after. It's like 2 days after 4th of July, and the shooting off fireworks outside of my house. So if that's picking up on the recording, that's what's going on.
Right on. I guess that hasn't quite stopped yet. So Jeremy, that was a very brief recap of the game. Hey, first one of those in about 100 episodes that we've had. But there were some graphing before the game that you did. I didn't get in my seat till probably almost 6:30, if not a little bit later. So I was behind you, but you actually managed to do gates, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I felt a little guilty because like we were both. It looked like both of us were maybe going to miss gates, and I kind of was able to kind of like shift some stuff around and get there. I did have to like park at a meter, which was parking at Wrigley's not easy, and I was like driving downtown just because of these crazy hours that I'm working. So I was coming back from work, and I found a spot up kind of near you, Jack, but by a meter, and so I ended up having to feed the meter from 5 something to 10 something, or till 10. So it ended up costing me like $13 to pay to park, which actually is not that bad if you're thinking about like driving to a Major League Baseball game.
Sure.
So it was what it was, but it helped me make gates, so it was worth it. I get in, and I'm a little bit behind, but I see the Josh and his minions there, like normal, and they're they got in first, and they were all there, all the friggin' minions were there. Chicken Finger was there, JJ, his like the third guy, Josh, and then some of these newer guys. That were there, which we have to come up with names for. But they all raced in, and like Josh was already getting a guy by the time I got in and up the stairs, and he was like the guy was like, it was kind of further up the line, so you couldn't see him over the wall, and so I kind of ran up and looked over, and I was like, who is that? Like, he was down signing, and Josh goes like, Mason Miller, and so I'm like, oh man, and like I like flipped to Mason Miller really quick, and I called for him, and he kind of like looked up at me, and I've been so used now to like getting denied by these players that I was really surprised that Mason Miller signed for me. I wonder if I like maybe kind of trapped him or something into signing, like he had already committed, then he realized I was an adult. I was wearing a Padres hat, so that maybe helped. But yeah, I got Mason Miller, which is pretty awesome, pretty, like one of the best pitchers in the league, one of the guys you'd want to get from this team. And for me, it was nice because like I should have got him at spring training 2025 at the A's, and I missed out on him because people were flocking to him, and I was waiting for him to come down the line. So it was kind of like a missed opportunity then, and so it was kind of nice to get him.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I ended up getting Brad Glay Rodriguez too, who like I think is going to be a pretty good pitcher for them. The Pods bullpen is just sick. They have like such like strong arms.
They do.
In that pen. So yeah, he's just kind of like the newest one of that group. And then I got Yuki Matsui as well. Japanese pitcher, has been around for a couple years now. There was a funny moment with Matsui because these kids were trying to get his autograph, and like there's this one knucklehead kid trying to get his autograph and didn't have anything for him to sign, and so he's like Yuki, can you sign my phone? And like he wanted him to sign, I think maybe it was the case or something, but and it was like a black case or something, and I'm like, what a horrible thing for him to sign. And so this is before I got him. He goes like, can you sign my phone? And Yuki goes like, no phone. And he steps away, and I was like, damn it, like, this guy, like, he like maybe pissed him off or something, and like Matsui walks away. Then he goes, it turns out he went, and I started stepping away, and it turns out he went to like the ball bag and got like a baseball to sign for the kid. So that was actually very cool of him. And then he ended up signing for me, which was cool. But then like, I don't know, then like a second kid showed up, and then he also, I think he gave the ball to like not the kid who asked for the phone, because he ended up signing the kid's phone anyway. It was a mess, but yeah, it was just funny. He's like, no phone.
Yeah, we've seen a phone case signed before. I think it was the Nationals, the Nationals broadcaster who signed a somewhat scandalous phone cover. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
I bet Matsui probably wouldn't have minded signing that one.
No, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that was pretty good for pregame, and like, yeah, it just sucks that you weren't able to get there for that. I was certainly surprised. I did not expect to get Mason Miller, so
it was one of those things. I was just coming from work. Summer hours are a little bit hard to get there by gates for sure. But and then also the thing about the Padres too is you kind of have to get them inside because the players don't sign at the bus. So it was a good call. Sounds like you did pretty well. It was
the best I'd ever done with the Padres for sure.
But yeah, like we said, it was a heck of a game. And I think unfortunately, it was also a 3+ hour game. So it was kind of the exact opposite of the White Sox game we had been to the week prior, which was, I think, 2 hours and 6 minutes, maybe the shortest we've ever been to. This was on the longer end with all the offense, a lot of pitching changes, mid-inning pitching changes. And, with the weather, it wasn't the kind of game you wanted to be at for 3+ hours. But we were in the left field upper deck, which was a little bit of a change for us, Jeremy. We haven't sat in left field too much this year, but we had to make our way down to the right field side to be able to get out to get autographs for the bus. And so, it hit about the bottom of the 8th inning as we were making our way over. We were down in the lower deck in that concourse, sort of right directly behind home plate in that hallway where you walk through. And we saw the strangest sight. We saw a dad proudly looking on at his 5-month-old baby. I don't know. It was just like a little baby who looked like it was trying to take its first steps. And it was walking towards a concession worker, I think, who was
Yeah.
on their knees. Did I see all of that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, it was apparent. I don't know. I don't know why that was happening, but some random Cubs worker was crouched down, with their arms extended, trying to to receive this baby as it seemingly took its first steps ever at this, and in the middle of this the concourse at the top of the terrace reserve section of Wrigley Field behind the marquee. I mean,
between an inning when it was really busy.
Yeah, and towards the end of the game when fans are starting to leave. So it was just the craziest place to have that happen with this little baby. There were people actively dodging this baby, including us. And it was just I was thinking
Sure.
maybe that concession worker was the mom and they just came to see the mom at work or something. That would make too much sense for it to actually be true. There's no way that that's actually what the scenario was, but yeah.
No, I was calling it baby's first designated driver soda. It was just it didn't make any sense, Jeremy, and they're lucky that somebody didn't just barrel over this baby with how fast people walk in that concourse.
Yeah, I mean there's always groups of drunk guys just walking crazy. Anything could have happened. It was chaotic.
Yes, so that was wild, but we eventually got over to our seats where we like to sit so we can get a quick exit. And it didn't take us long to realize that there was a really annoying Padres fan about 5 rows in front of us. So it was this couple. The guy wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of just sitting there, but the woman was making enough noise for both of them. Just every single thing that happened, she would scream "Go Pods!" and "Come on, boys!" If Fernando Tatis would take a ball, and then she would cheer for that. Now, of course, Tatis hits a 3-run homer or whatever he hit in the 8th inning, and so she went nuts. But it was crazy, and we thought was she doing this the whole game? We can't stand her, and we've only been here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. It definitely felt like she was trying to make her presence known as a Padres fan in a visitor's park. But it's not it's not like she was battling against other unruly Cubs fans. Everyone was pretty chill, and it didn't seem like there was anyone in that section who was maybe riding her or hey, Dennis has suffered way worse and not and all he said was you got a problem with me? Well, I got a problem with you. But it's he could be an example for once in his life to someone on how to behave. But it was just it was definitely she was had something to prove, and it just seemed unnecessary. No one was calling for that heat.
No, and Jeremy, I've worn a Brewers hat to games when we've gone Brewers versus Cubs, but I'm not obnoxious about it. So I don't get it. I don't support it. But thankfully, the game did wrap up. I think the 9th inning, the top of the 9th, was 3 straight flyouts to Ian Happ in left field. So it ended up being a relatively drama-free top of the 9th. And we were able to get out there. One funny thing that happened that I'm glad I'm remembering this now is that on our way down the stairs, we were a little worried that we weren't going to be the first guys at the bus, so we wouldn't get the catbird seat. But on our way down the stairs, I could see that you could make out the bus situation, and I was a little bit behind you, like I always am. You kind of always run ahead of me, and you just stuck your thumb up in the air, you gave me a thumbs up, and I was like, all right. I know we're good. I know we got that spot. It was kind of when you did the hang 10 symbol after you got Soroka by the hotel.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like that. I was like, all right, I know we're good. So we could both slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like a Maverick type thumbs up or something. It's a little higher. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was like, we're clear. So
Yep.
yeah, that was funny. We've never really talked about that, but like the run out of the stadium is crazy.
It is.
And we just do it like it's no thing at this point. But like you're going down. Is it all stairs or is it ramps?
No,
it's all stairs.
It's all stairs, man,
Yeah.
and they're like short flights of stairs, but you have to keep changing
Zigzags.
direction. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like a spiral staircase. So it's like you're constantly risking like losing your balance and footing the second you step onto that next staircase.
Yeah, like twisting your like ankle or whatever just with a quick pivot. Like zigzag staircase. So like I'll usually like get to like the bottom and then like I'll grab that pole to kind of like Tokyo drift me back around into the other direction. It is wild, and then we're just doing it with like reckless abandon and like God forbid. I mean, every once in a while there's like slow people go like 4 wide and we get stuck. But sometimes we're just trying to like get around a slow person. Sometimes you can do it after like 2 flights, but it's crazy. And we just do it. And like 95% of the time, no one else is there. So we beat everyone like without any competition. But every so often, every time you think like you're in the clear, there's like there's a gaggle of random goofballs out there.
So it is worth it. And like the last part of that journey also isn't easy because you have to run out of the stadium past the ushers who are saying goodbye, but then you have to make almost like you have to turn almost at a there's really sharp angle to the bus. So it's like it's one more really sharp turn while you're trying to avoid people and like not run into anybody before you can actually get to the bus and see whether you're in the clear or not. So it's not a pleasant experience actually, that last little sprint to the bus.
Yeah, it's an extreme hard left to kind of get out of that flow. And then there are people coming out of like the exits, like and you're maybe sometimes crossing in front of them. So yeah, it's death defying. So yeah, we get out there and business as usual pretty much. Our buddy Nick, the security guard, is out there.
Yep.
And we've been talking about this. I think this has been a running theme throughout the this season. But he's definitely on this like kick now where he's like ripping cards or getting into breaks and then like showing us the cards and talking about how he's selling them on eBay.
Yeah.
We talked about eBay 101 last week.
Yep.
Jack, tell us like what happened there with Nick.
So right away he saw us, and as he did, he always gives us a fist bump. And so he sort of drifts away for a little bit, and then Jeremy, you start to whisper to me. You're like, oh god, he's getting out his phone. And so you just know when he's getting out his phone, he's getting ready to show us cards that he has and that he's put up for sale on eBay.
Yeah.
So sure enough, thankfully this didn't go on for that long because he got distracted pretty quick. But he shows us this card that he pulled. And Jeremy, it was a Patriots guy in the New England Patriots. It was an autograph. I don't remember what player it was. Do you?
I'm pulling. It's like Travion Stevenson or something. I should know the guy's name. I'm pulling up their depth chart right now.
Yeah.
Travion Henderson.
Okay.
He's like their backup running back.
Yeah.
I don't think he's very good at all. Like I
Okay.
don't think he's like. Let's see. He's how many years has he been in the league? This might only be his second year, so maybe he'll become. Yeah, he was a rookie last year, so maybe he'll become like a. He was a second round pick. Maybe he'll become like the starting running back or something. But yeah, I guess he had okay numbers. I don't know. Football like market is different than baseball. Yeah. I don't know if this guy is sought after. I kind of don't think so though. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like the equivalent, Jeremy. I mean, we've pulled like a Josh Young or a Johan Rojas out of a box. Like it seems like it's maybe on that tier.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, maybe he has more upside, but no, I'm even looking at his cards right now, and like, it looks like he's selling in like the $20 to $25, like the $15 to $25 range. So that's not much to write home about.
No, it's not. And like that, I might tell you that I pulled a card like that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be telling like. I mean, our buddy Chris, right? It's like I might not like pull up the picture to show him. It might not be like it's like, oh yeah, hey, look at this Johan Rojas card I pulled. It's like, well, great. It's not that exciting.
Yeah, it just kind of is a thing. Like, and so when he pulls these cards out, like he's kind of saying, like, we don't talk to him enough for him to be like, oh yeah, I pulled this, whatever, not bad. It's
Right.
he's kind of like he's like dialing up his phone, because also, so when I said like, oh, he's pulling out his phone, it's like that's a long process. Like he's kind of just like sauntering around, kind of like strutting around a little bit, and like pulls the phone out. He's kind of got it down by his side, and he's kind of like just one finger tapping around, and he's teeing it up for like a good minute, and it's kind of one of these things. He's like pulling up. He's like, and the way he does it, it's kind of like boom, check that out, like
Yep.
it's kind of like a big reveal, and we both had to be like, ah, yeah, all right, cool, but like it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, him pulling his phone up is almost like when like HBK would stand behind a guy and like stamp his foot before he would do sweet chin music.
Yes, yeah,
It's
perfect.
like the wrestling taunt before the thing happens. So, yeah, I'm not sad that that interaction didn't last long. So Nick got distracted, but then there was this doofus that was to my right, and
Yeah.
this guy had a skateboard with him, and so he sees that Nick, showed us this card. So I guess like the light bulb went on in this guy's head that was like, okay, these guys must be into cards. So the guy, like, he shows me his phone, and he shows me this autographed Steph Curry card, a pack-pulled Steph Curry card. And he's like, hey, look what I just pulled last week. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, great, man. I think my exact words were, that's no joke. And he's like, nope. He goes, nope.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's the thing. At least we know Nick a little bit, and like
Yes.
can positively reinforce something that he said. But like, I wouldn't tell some stranger that I like pulled a Paul Skeens. Like I wouldn't pull up the picture and say, hey, like look at this thing that I pulled, if I wasn't even involved in the conversation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one thing if somebody asks you like, what's the best card you've ever pulled? It's like, yeah,
Yes.
there you go. But it's like if just apropos of nothing, if you're just gonna show me that card, like what am I supposed to say to that?
Yeah, no, it was like I think he said to you, he's like, oh man, I wonder if that guy's gonna come back because I want to show him this, and then he like showed you, and it's just like, yeah. So for me, okay, like the whole thing about like card collecting, I think is just like you do want to show people like the stuff. Like there's this like inherent. It's almost though like it's almost like telling someone your dream or something. It's like it's never as interesting to you as it is to someone else as it is to you. And
Right.
so like, yeah, it's just like I'll send you like a card that I pull every now and then, but I've known you for 15 years or something. So
Right.
like,
And we've ripped together.
yeah, exactly. So like it's like it's within the realm of reasonability, but like I show you maybe like 0.5% of the cards I get, just because I'm like,
Yeah.
he's not interested in this, whatever. Like, I'll send you something funny that I pull, like if I got like a what was his name, Tyler Saladino card or
Sure.
something,
Yeah.
or like something crazy big. But like, yeah, and this guy is just like doesn't know us at all. It's like it was just it was a leap, and you just knew that this guy just wanted to show this off, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, congrats, I don't know what to, yeah, it's like, I hope you sell it. I hope you flip it. You're probably gonna keep it and not sell it or something, but you should. Like, it was just like, yeah, what could we do for this guy?
Yeah, I think your exact words to me were that card is too expensive not to sell, but this idiot's probably gonna hang on to it. So
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the end game with a card like that is. Like, I feel like a lot of football and basketball guys are like major like flippers, but
Yeah.
I feel like this guy is probably just gonna hold on to that.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we'll see. Oh, by the way, I went in that Tom Brady store the other day for the first time, and they
okay.
do. Yeah, the basketball cards are pretty expensive. So just a non sequitur, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. So yeah, I guess one more thing about Nick. is that eventually his cousin showed up, and we know that because he was asking the other security guards, like, "Hey, is Nick here? I'm his cousin." And I can't remember the context with which he called the Padres this name. Can you remember what he was talking about?
I don't know who he was talking to, but like, I will say before even that, he goes like, "Hey, is Nick Calzone here?" or something. Like it wasn't Calzone, but his name
It wasn't.
But it sounded like it. Like it's like it was very Italian sounding. He's like, "Hey, is Nick Calzone here?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm his cousin. I want to say hi to him." And and then he was just like, he's like, "Yeah, all right, well, hey, Cubs got the big win. They beat the Fathers. That's okay. That's all right. We always love to see it. They beat the Fathers."
Yeah.
And so like, it's like that is kind of funny to call the Padres Fathers. But he was, again, just kind of talking out loud to like whoever was around him. I think, like, I don't know if he was by himself. I don't think he was talking to like a friend or anything.
No, it was just whoever would listen. So yeah, that was fun. That he showed up. He left right away too. I'm not even sure if he made contact with Nick.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No. So Chicken Finger was there. He showed up at some point. And he was right next to you, which is usually the MO. So I'll usually have some freak to my right. You're always to my left because that's my good ear. And then Chicken Finger, like the last couple times we've been at the Cubs, has been on your left.
Chicken Finger has told me his philosophy with this too, because he's like, yeah, I like to stand right by the gate because little kids are always coming in and squeezing in, and I don't want them to get between me and like to squeeze me out. So I at least get by the gate so like they can only come on to my right side or whatever.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's quite sound thinking, but it makes sense in Chicken Finger's head. So be it. Jack, I'm feeling like we didn't explain why he's called Chicken Finger, but did we do that in like last episode or two episodes ago?
I think we did. Well, it's just because you had to hold this big greasy box of chicken fingers, and then you said I'll do it, but you got to give me a chicken finger, and he did. So I don't know if we actually explained that on the podcast, but there ain't that much more to the story than that. So
that's it. So if you missed it or didn't catch it, that's why it is. By the way, another programming note, I meant to say this at the top of the episode. Our apologies to the listeners for last week's episode being delayed. As a testament to my crazy work schedule, I completely forgot to post the episode for I guess 3 days or 2 days. I think it ended up posting Friday, and we usually post Wednesday. So I think going forward, we'll be posting Wednesdays, maybe Thursdays, but that was a complete oversight on my end, so that's why I was late. But anyway.
Well, hey, there were some technical issues on my end too. So we're good though. We're back on track.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Chicken Fingers. So you kind of had to deal with the lion's share of his stuff.
Yeah. He he was telling me he's always asking me who I got, who I've seen he knows all the kids, so he's asking me, he's like, "Hey, did you see what JJ got? Hey, Josh got this guy, whatever." And then he tells me, he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh man, Dennis followed me on Instagram." And Dennis was not in this episode, and Jack, we might have to, I know that there's hours and hours of material of us, footage of us talking about Dennis by name. In the descriptions, we call him the Gray Grapher. We might have to go back to Gray Grapher just in the off chance. So Dennis has an Instagram. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Sure. I feel like it's there's going to come a point where the walls sort of close in on us,
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but I feel like we're flirting with it. So, maybe this episode going forward, it's funnier to say his name, but I think maybe the Gray Grapher is just till maybe we know we're in the clear.
We either have to start just heretofore refer to him as Gray Grapher, or maybe just stop disparaging him a little bit. But that seems impossible. So I think we have to do Gray Grapher. But yes, but the fact that he is on Instagram scares me a little bit, because he's just a click away from finding my profile, which links to the Rain Delay Theater. I can't unlink Rain Delay Theater to my Instagram because it's part of what I do, just in the off chance that Dennis or another grapher finds it. I can't undo that. So we do have to kind of come up with a contingency plan here, but I don't know.
I've been
It's
thinking
it's
about
scary.
that too. The only consolation for us is that like he probably doesn't listen to podcasts.
No. Well, yes. Yeah.
You know, like this podcast is not getting autographs, and if it's not getting autographs, he probably doesn't care about it. But that being said, we should, let's just be careful for the next little while. Just to see how things play out.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't have never thought he had an Instagram, and Chicken Finger did say, like, I'm like, does he use it? And he's like, he hasn't posted anything since 2020. But it still frightens me that he's just a couple clicks away from finding us. So,
sure.
And then, once you know someone, it starts suggesting people. So he's very liable to see, because I am friends with JEJ on Instagram. Yep. I didn't add Chicken Finger. It also seems inappropriate a little bit too, because Chicken Finger's maybe like 14, 15 years old. JEJ's at least, well, he's probably whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyway, that was established that he's on Instagram and he follows Chicken Finger, and so yeah, whatever. We're gonna tread lightly going forward.
I'm sure he follows Josh too, and here's the reason he does this. So he wants to know who's getting what autographs and where. In one of the more inspired moments of buffoonery from last season, that was how he knew, like, they got Caminero at Chipotle, they got 4 James Wood, and that's how he finds this stuff out, is because he sees it on Instagram, and like he becomes apoplectic that these kids are getting all of these autographs. So that's why he texts me too. Like he'll like text me about the Cubs, like, are you going? I think he just wants to know who's going to be getting autographs and who signs when, like, when he's not there. So he's definitely just torturing himself. But I agree, it's too close for comfort. Jeremy, he does know your name too. So
right.
He'll follow you. Of course, he knows my first and last name, and I'm not sure he's ever bothered to Google. So
you know what, Jack? I will say one thing I did do was I blocked him on the Rain Delay Theater Instagram account. So I kind of preemptively kind of blocked that out. So like if he does go to my profile and clicks on the Rain Delay Theater link, it'll just say like user not found or something. So
that's funny.
Yeah, okay. I had to do it. I had to like kind of like, preemptively do that. So I'm sorry that Dennis won't be able to, enjoy this, but I think it's for everybody's best interests.
It is. Okay, that's good then. One other funny thing that Chicken Finger said, Jeremy, and maybe you could add more context to this, but I heard him saying to you, I want to live free and not work. Was he talking about selling autographs?
No, he basically, I think he asked me like, either am I coming back tomorrow or did I come yesterday? And I'm like, nah, man, work. I got to work. And he goes like, oh man, he's like, man, I don't want to have to do that, man. I don't want to have to work. And then he said that, yeah, I just want to live free and just go to baseball games and not work and just do this. And I'm like, yeah, man, exactly. I'm like, that's the issue, man. But I'm not, it's not my responsibility to rear Chicken Finger, but it was almost like a big brother moment.
Right. Well, yeah. Good luck with that, unless you're making $2,700 off of a Jalen Brunson like JEJ is. But even that's not very sustainable. So the graphing life, I don't know. I don't think it'd be for me if I was just selling.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's a tough. I mean, I think Nats Pud had to learn that way, and the stick of Ick and the Stick. I think they both have kind of had to prioritize their studies.
Right.
Unlike some other kids that Dennis would or that the great grapher would have issues with. But
yes.
But yeah. So that happened. Actually, I think a kid did eventually kind of like push, like get his way into the getting on the railing. But before that, Chicken Finger was and all of us were quite annoyed with some guy who was at the bus, very similar to what did we call that guy? The super fan guy? That guy who was like, oh my God, he was maybe there for the Nats or the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
But like Duff Man, we called him Duff Man.
Okay.
That guy who was just like decked out in like, I think it was Cardinals gear or something.
Yeah.
And like wasn't yelling, wasn't trying to get autographs. He was just there like as a living mascot for the team.
Yes.
So this guy was there was a guy there, and he was right behind Chicken Finger, and he was watching the Team Mexico World Cup game on his phone at full volume. Mm-hmm. And he was just there to like see players come out. He wasn't trying to get autographs. He was just there taking up space and like polluting the air with his like phone. He had 2 phones on him, by the way, too. Which was, like,
I didn't
weird.
see that.
Yeah, and he was wearing was wearing a bike helmet, and like he seemed like he had like ridden his bike there. The bike helmet had some kind of weird like, I don't know if it was a Nike. It was like this like actual like plastic like logo or something. Like it was like a Nike swoosh like that he like ripped off of like some sort of like display or something and stuck it to his helmet. So that thing was like sticking off of his helmet. Like it was like kind of like tacked onto his helmet, and he was just like, he wasn't doing anything but taking up space. And like Chicken Finger was annoyed. He's like, oh man, fuck this guy or something, like under his breath. And I'm like, yeah, man, I hear you. Like completely agree. So that guy was annoying. He was just there. Eventually, Tony Gwynn Jr. came out, and this is one of those things where Chicken Finger was going like also like apoplectic, like just going crazy, because I'm like, oh, here comes Tony Gwynn, and I hear in the corner of my ear, Chicken Finger goes like, Tony Gwynn, no, he's dead. What the Tony Gwynn? No, man, it's not Tony Gwynn. And then like. And so Tony Gwynn Jr. he does color for Padres radio, mm-hmm. And so he came out. We've never seen him at the bus, or maybe we missed him or whatever. But he comes out, and I call for him, and I really had to like telegraph it out to him, because like there was like security guards like in the way, and so I go like, hey Tony, and then he kind of stops, and then I go like, can you sign? And then he does like a 180 and comes right over to me. And then like, and he was maybe the first guy to come over. So then like everyone like freaked out, like the Cubs ushers, like it was like this guy who's there sometimes. He's like a younger kid. And he just like freaks out and just like flips, like slides both of the railings over the barricades, which was nice, but also it was like way too like big and demonstrative than it needed to be. Yeah. At that same moment that he comes over and the barricades are flying, this idiot, soccer guy drops his helmet on the concrete with a loud thud. It's almost like he spiked it down on the ground. It just like fell off of his stupid head and hit the concrete, and it was just like boom.
It like, sounded like a thunderclap.
Yeah, right as Tony Gwynn was coming over to me, and it's like, could there be more like obstacles for me just getting this like announcer, like obviously like baseball like royalty in his blood, but like he was a guy who kind of like was in the league for a couple years, never obviously lived up to the hype of his dad, but like obviously wanted him, but like it was like chaos. And like I'm like, what the hell with this friggin' guy? Like he's here, he's taking up space, he's annoying everybody, and then he friggin' slams his helmet in front of this guy, like right as he's coming over to sign for me. Like, could this guy be any more, non-conducive to getting autographs?
No, it was bad, and he stayed around for a while too. He must have stayed around for at least 2 of the 3 buses. Actually, there are 4 buses, so he was there for like 75% of the time. Yeah, that was wild, yeah. Jeremy. And I for whatever reason I didn't take this pod series real seriously in terms of pulling cards. I have a Tony Gwynn card that I've been carrying around for a couple years. I just didn't bring him because I didn't have time to pull it. So that was a miss on my part, but I'll get him next year. It seems like if he's actually there, he's easy to get. We had just never seen him. We'd never seen him before, and I don't think we'd missed him.
No, I was gonna say the Gray Grapher has spoken of getting him in the past. So like he signs. It's just we've never seen him. So it worked out this time. So yeah, I'm sure you'll get another shot at him.
Oh yeah, yeah. One repeat customer, so a fan that we had not seen in a while. He wasn't there last year. Was Friar Faithful. The reason he's called that is just because he's this big, loud idiot with a beard, and he's decked out in Padres gear, and he's always with his girlfriend. And he always rolls up and says, "What's up, my Friar Faithful?" And then in previous years, he would yell at the players as they were coming down the concourse and completely screw any chance anybody had for an autograph. I'll never forget him when Luke Voigt was walking down the concourse and he was saying, "Luke!" And the Padres are a bad signing team anyways, but that never helped. Well, it was nice, so I figured maybe that was going to be the case again this year. He was there again with his girlfriend. Same MO, same Padres gear. He did not say, "What's up, my Friar Faithful," though. So I turned and saw him, and then I pointed him out to you, Jeremy, but he was very subdued. Perhaps it was the fact that they lost. They were on a losing streak at that time. They lost this game. They would lose the next day, too, and I don't know if they've won since. I don't know if they played tonight, but I know that they lost to the Dodgers, at least whatever. So, anyway, all of that is to say that Friar Faithful did not, make a presence of himself, and he actually left before the last bus left. So we at some point we were the only two guys there, but he wasn't an issue this year.
Yeah, no, more subdued, maybe a couple years older, wiser.
Yeah.
Friar Faithful, highly doubtful, but but yeah, so much so that we didn't realize until at some point, like after we had gotten there. So
no.
He was there. The Steph Curry skateboard guy was there the whole time. He was there the whole time.
He was.
It's like these friggin' people just got nowhere to be, else to be other than at the bus. I'm trying to think. There was maybe some like dads and kids and stuff there, but those were the mainstays. JP Sears started this game and he got rocked. He got rocked from the first inning. Second inning he really took a beating. Ended up giving up 7 runs, 6 earned. He got lucky with an error there. But I guess lucky. But he took the L in this one. Just pretty much roundly got spanked in this game. Jack, you speculated that we maybe be able to get a predatory graph from JP Sears, because it's happened this season and previous times where the guy gets rocked and he signs for us. But it was not to be. We did call for him, and he did say something like, "Sorry guys, not today," or something like that.
We did, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, so just from my perspective, it was funny because, we both had a card for him. We both wanted him. But then he, and we were the only ones who called for him. So at this point, there were not that many people left, and, nobody else was calling for him. So he said, "No, I'm sorry, guys." And then you kind of just, poo-pooed him with your hand, and then he got on the bus. So it was funny. It was also well-deserved, too, because, come on, dude. We're the only guys calling for you. But it was disappointing not to get him. But it was almost like a Senzatella, don't listen to him.
So I guess I'm getting. I guess I'm getting a little more bold, out at the bus, telling this guy, don't listen to him, and then waving off JP Sears.
Right.
To quote the Rios, "You're a bum" guy. With the way you're playing, you should be lucky someone wants your autograph.
Well, that was the situation. Like you said, he got roundly spanked. It was never even close to being a good outing at any point for him. So
no,
I don't know. Just and that was actually our first shot at the guy too. I don't think we'd ever had a chance to ask him. So didn't work out.
It's like, hey man, we're actually asking you for your autograph after you got spanked. Like, you should be, that should mean something to you, but whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I missed out on him too at spring training, so that's a guy who I would have liked to have gotten, but it was fine. I will take Mason Miller anytime. So
one guy who we didn't make come out, and this is another guy where I don't think we've gotten a lot of chances to actually ask him, is Walker Buehler. I think he's been hurt most of the times the Dodgers have come. And so, we both had a card for him, and it was starting to wrap up. I think we were it was the last bus there. We were the only two guys there at that point, and we thought oh man, we haven't seen Walker Buehler. Maybe he'll come out. And then I thought, shit, tomorrow's a day game. Is he pitching tomorrow? And, you looked at your phone, your MLB app, and you saw that sure enough, Walker Buehler was pitching tomorrow. So we were like, damn it, he left already. So Dynamite's theory, it's like the gospel according to the Gray Grapher, where every once in a while the Gray Grapher will say something that's correct. Like Dynamite, he adds this theory that the starting pitcher always leaves before the game or like halfway through the game so they can get a good night's rest at the hotel. A couple weeks ago, we were like, it's ridiculous if the guy's not going to leave early if the next game is a night game. It's not going to happen. But of course, if the next game is a day game, we have seen that before, that the guy leaves. So there is that statement is like half true. It's just not an absolute. So, this time, that screwed us. Walker Buehler definitely left early to go back to the hotel after he did his work because he was starting the next game. So it was disappointing. I think we kind of got our hopes up a little bit because we're like, okay, maybe we can get him. We're the only two guys left. And then it got dashed because of the Dynamite theory.
Yeah, the Dynamite theory. So, we were waiting anyway for the coaching staff pretty much, but it was oh, he's the only one left, and it was looking good, and then it just we came to that realization. So too bad on that one, but we were pretty much in it for the coaches at this point. There was just a ton of coaches on this staff that we wanted. Bob Henley is just like a guy who had a cup of coffee in the league, but he's a third base coach for the Padres. And you had a card. I picked one up just to be ready for it, and it's a cool Expos card. And he kind of snuck by us. He's not the easiest guy to make out, and we thought it was him, and then we weren't sure, and then it was. So we missed him. But yeah, there was still Craig Stammen, the manager. Randy Knorr, who was in the league for a handful of years, and Steven Souza as well. So these guys were still to come. So we were ready for that. Mike McCoy, who barely had a cup of coffee in the league. I randomly, for some reason, have 2 cards of his. I don't know why. I think I ordered one, or not ordered one, but I got it from AU Sports. They have a Beckett website where you can order singles from and pick them up. So I think I did that in prep for spring training last year maybe. And then I got a pack of 2010, and I pulled his card, his paper card. So I had 2 different cards of his, which is weird. Not only did I have one, but I had 2. I was able to make him, and he came out and he signed for me. So that was pretty cool. So that was at least one coach down. And at this point, it was a long time. And we were actually kind of speculating, Stammen isn't quite blowing up, the league with his performance. And we were kind of speculating it's one of those things where it's maybe he's staying after just to kind of prove that he's putting in the work, or at least make it look like he's putting in the work. He's like, hey, if I stay for an hour and a half after the game, there's no way they can say I'm not doing my job.
Right. You make it look like you're working hard.
Yeah, exactly. So these guys just we were worried that they're gonna all come out together, which happens sometimes. Randy Knorr kind of trickled out on his own, and we were able to nab him. So that was very cool. He was very nice.
He was.
Very cool to get him.
Yeah, he was cool. At one point, Dynamite even offered to hold his Gatorade that he was drinking, and Nora was like, "No, I got it. I'll just sign for these guys." And so he was super cool. He was playing when I first started following baseball, so it's always cool for me to get guys from that era. But right after we got Nor, I noticed a presence over my shoulder, and this guy's who's shorter than me. He says to me, I look over, and he's one of the yellow shirts security guards, and he looked like Rikishi. I also said, this is after you started watching, Jeremy, or stopped watching, but 3-minute warning. I think you said he looked like a guy too, but Rikishi, I think, is the best comp. It's the most accessible comp. And so he had sunglasses on too, and he looks at me and he's like, oh man, who is that? And I was like, oh yeah, that's just one of the coaches for the Padres. And he points at this guy points at the card to the point where he's almost touching it. And he's like, oh yeah, he signed right there. And I was like, yeah, man, yeah, he did. And he's like, that's dope. and then like he kind of nodded at me and he just walked away. But it was random, man. It was like when that one security guard last year with Dustin Garneau talked about like Boku Bucks. It was like he just came up and like talked about it, but we hadn't even seen this guy. I didn't make that guy at all like anywhere around the bus. I don't even know where he came from.
No, the way he approached you and the vibe that he had, the like energy he had, he seemed like a crazy guy off the street.
Yes.
Or like a drunk guy, like some asshole, like that we didn't want to be near.
No.
And like I gave him the cold shoulder. I feel like you kind of did too. And he went up to me too after he looked at yours. He looks at me and he's like, same card. I'm like, no, kind of a different card. And then I kind of gave it like the half turn. He's like, oh yeah, oh cool man, dope, whatever. And then he walked away and I saw he was a security guard and I was like, oh Jesus, like I didn't know he was a security guard. Like I would have shown him a little more respect. But he was just very peculiar. But like, yeah, just for people who don't know, Rikishi, wrestler, from my era, he was part of the Head Shrinkers, the tag team, and he was just like a Samoan guy. Then he became like this bleach blonde guy who was from the streets of San Francisco, and he's like, I'm making a difference, like I'm changing things around here, or whatever. And like he had this goofy leather like multicolored jacket and like sunglasses. And and that version of Rikishi like looked like this guy. It was very funny.
Yeah. Did you ever see him when he was part of Too Cool?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He would dance with them and stuff.
Yeah, Scott Too Hot Taylor and Brian Lawler, who was going by Brian Christopher, I think, who I think is dead, maybe.
Yeah, I was actually just recently. Yeah, I was just recently reading up on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, gradually this is going to become a wrestling podcast, I think, more and more, rightfully so, I guess. So, yeah, that was interesting. But then, Stammen came out, and Stammen was with another guy, but he wasn't a coach. But I feel like we lucked out with Nor and Stammen that they didn't come together. The move would have been to just call for both of them at the same time, but we didn't have to do that. So Stammen comes out. He comes over to sign for us. Nice guy. Again, he was really nice. I'd say Stammen was maybe my top guy that I wanted, so I was happy about that. He signs for both of us, Jeremy. I had him in I think 2013 Flagship. You had a heritage of him. Maybe that was 2017.
2019 actually.
2019 Heritage, right? Because it had the gray background. But yeah, the way he signed he's got a kind of a strange autograph. But the way he signed yours, it was like he defaced it. The Craig, it looks like it's a mustache like under his nose. It just looks weird.
Yeah, did I send you a picture of it, Jack?
I remember what it looked like from the.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you've sent me a picture yet, but I remember what it looked like.
Yeah, I know that I always say I'm going to post it to Instagram, and I hardly ever do. But he signed it like it literally looks like the R and the like A, I guess, like looks like he drew like a butt chin on his chin. Like it looks like a little like W under his chin, and then like the eye and in the dot on the eye in Craig is right in his ear. Like it looked like he was drawing a mustache on his face, and I'm watching it. It's always weird because like we turn the book to them and we're watching them sign it upside down basically. And I seriously thought he came over. I seriously thought I called for him to sign an autograph. He was like, he begrudged us that, and he came over and he was just gonna draw like a mustache and glasses on his face and be like, wow, fuck you or something. But yeah, no, he signed it. He's got a really nice signature. He's got nice penmanship. Yep. And it's weird. I looked it up on eBay, and like there's other cards of those that he signed, and he doesn't do that to every card. Like sometimes guys will do the same thing on each card, or sign in the same spot. It's just like he started like too high, and he had to just kind of keep it going, and it just ended up going right under his face. It's very weird. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I would that's grounds for maybe getting him again, although it's so peculiar, this autograph, that I like it for what it is. But
I went and looked at other of his autographs too, just to compare it to the one you got, and he just missed the spot with yours. It's interesting. But yeah, it was cool to get him. I'm not really sure how long he's going to hang on as their manager. I think a lot of teams just like sign these guys to 1-year deals. He's probably on a multi-year deal, but because there's going to be a strike next year, I think maybe a lot of teams can reevaluate once that happens. Similar with Suzuki. So I don't know if that's the Padres situation, but I don't know how long Stammen is going to hang out. So it was good to get him. Steven Souza is their hitting coach. I had a cool card for him at a Cubs Heritage. Jeremy, you might have had a couple for him. But he was probably our number 2. He was like the coach that we really wanted. And he came out last and brought up the rear. And we did call for him. And he was nice about denying us, but he did deny us. He just said, I got to get on the bus. And he did. If he would have signed for us, it would have held up the bus. Because right when he got on, they packed it up and left. So that was disappointing. We would have just needed him to come out about, maybe 2-3 minutes sooner than he did. But, yeah, I guess maybe he'll be around next year if the staff doesn't turn over.
Yeah, probably. So it was rough. I had 2 Cubs cards of his, and anytime I can get a coach on a Cubs card, I try to do that. It would have been cool to get him, but who knows? I do remember. I feel like he got DFA'd in between games of a doubleheader. So he doesn't. I think. Yeah, maybe he doesn't. Maybe when signing a Cubs card, it's funny, Jack, because very early in our graphing, Nomar Mazara made that comment about that White Sox card. Yeah. That we signed. He's like, oh no, White Sox, they don't like me or something.
Yep. Yeah, they don't like me there.
Yeah, and so I think it created this false belief that some players might not sign cards. I've heard that from other players like Vance Worley wouldn't sign his Twins cards or something.
Sure. Well, the Gray Grapher says that Tony Clark doesn't sign Tigers cards. Not Tony Clark. Dave Clark.
Dave Clark. Yeah, right. So that was an early one, and we haven't really experienced that since then. So it's a weird thing, but definitely wanted to get him, but Stammen and Nor I think probably were the more important ones to get, because it seems like Souza might be around in the future. So
right, yeah. So overall it was a fun game to go to. Another Cubs win. Jeremy, I commented to you that I hadn't been out to a Cubs game, I think, since the June 7th game or whatever it was that we went to against the Giants. So it's good to get back to Wrigley Field. I think next week we're going to be visiting the White Sox again, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that correct? We have the Cubs Twins Friday night game post All-Star break. But yes, next Friday, the Friday before that, right, is Sox A's. Yeah. So a couple of Friday night games coming up. But yeah, so I spilled the beans on that Cubs Twins game, but that should be exciting. So yeah, we got some cool ones coming up, and
we do.
Yeah, it'll be nice that it's the weekend. So
it will be. Yeah, after a couple Tuesday games, we'll do a couple Fridays. Yeah. So will I should say, finally get Mike Aldretti on Friday? We'll see. Tune in next week to find out. But for this week, it's Rain Delay Theater. I'm Jack Swakowski.
And I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
We'll see you next time.
Later.